Alright, I am doing a layering video and how to properly put foundation on, set it, and have it wear all day without making a huge mess and without baking. So this is my one side that's already done, and I've been wearing it for the last, 4 hours, and it's still looking pretty pristine. I mean, granted, this is my before, and I naturally have a flawless complexion. So it's easier for me. I don't have to do a lot of color correction, and I don't have to do a lot of spot treating or anything like that. But and this is how I do my makeup on a bride. This is how I do my makeup on anybody. This is a lot of stuff going on here. It's not, normally I don't bring my highlight all the way down, but I had a little mishap, and so I just kind of went with the trend. But I don't like to have a lot of highlight down here because I have larger pores, and I don't want to highlight the pores. Y'all know what I'm saying? So here's what I do to get started. I don't have any skincare on this, and I'm going to take Sanake Snake Booster Oil from Rodeo. I always use a serum. If you're over 25, it's time to start your big girl skincare. This is going to hydrate. It's anti-aging. It might not be for somebody that is 25, but for a 38-year-old woman over here, get the ball sacks. Get the ball sacks. And I press, I press, I press, I press, I press. Next, I move forward with my moisturizer. So right now I'm in Barcelona, and I should be out having a good time, but I did that yesterday, so I spent the day recovering and just had a really heavy dinner, and I'm spending the rest of the evening making this video. So this is 107 Skincare. It's a Korean brand. It's not a clean brand. It's supposed to be, but it's not. It's got some questionable ingredients. I'm doing this with one hand. And I rub this because I don't like to spend a lot of time. But I massage, give myself a little self-care action. And I apply it liberally. And even if you have oily skin, if you're using the proper moisturizer, you're going to hydrate the skin as you need. If you have oily skin, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have hydrated skin. You might have dehydrated skin, and the oil is being produced to compensate for your dryness or for your dehydration, so that your skin needs to be lubricated to do what it's got to do. So it'll produce a lot of oil so that it can. If you're not using a proper skincare regimen, your skin is going to be even more oily than without a moisturizer and a serum. So use your skincare and use it according to skin type. That's like usually my daily routine. I have a lot of other stuff, but again, I'm in Barcelona. So I'm traveling, and I didn't bring everything. I don't usually do this step, but I'll do it for the sake of this video. This is a Trestique. It's a primer, and normally I use the Becca mattifying primer, which is, to me, not a drill. So I'm just going to apply it on my T-zone and on my nose and the areas that I get really shiny. And I actually forgot to pack setting powder. So all I have is a mineral... What is this? This is a mineral-based SPF, and I've been using that, but it's very bronzy, so I have to use it gingerly. Okay, so I've got my primer on. Notice I didn't really put the primer up in here. I don't want to layer more products than I need. Here in these areas, I don't need as much going on. It's not going to come off as easy as it will here and here, especially on the nose, because I have combination skin, and it's really oily. You can see, like, I haven't set this properly in the last X amount of hours, so I get shiny. I just go with it, whatever. Okay, so, and then what I'll usually do is I will set the primer with a little powder, like a layer, a light layer, and I press it in with a puff. Look, might as well just hit that shit right there. Only in those areas, because that's where I need the most product. That's where I need a lot of help. I don't need as much because I'm going to put so much shit up in here. I don't want my makeup to look cakey, even though I am caking it on. Like, there's a lot going on. But you don't want it to look like that. And the way that I layer makes the skin look flawless while still getting the coverage that I need. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my Jane Iredale Glow Time. This is a cleaner brand. than most products. It's a BB cream, but it is legit. The first time I put it on, I thought it was going to be some type of, lightweight situation. Ooh, not a drill, not a drill. I like to mix it with Caudalie hydrating. It's an oil, it's a makeup oil, but it still has skincare benefits. And I just put 1 drop, 2 drops onto my hand. And I just take a brush and pop it. I always say pop it like it's hot, pop it like, but don't say that. It's stupid. So I do a lot more popping than wiping, because when you have dry skin, or for myself, I have these Bermuda triangles of skin that like suck the makeup away. Like, bye, where'd you go? I don't know. I just packed the shit out of you and now you've disappeared. I really try to hit the nose because my nose loves to not have makeup on it. It's also another Bermuda triangle. And look, I'm done. I'm already done. That skin looks amazing. So instead of setting it with powder and looking cakey, I don't set with powder. I'm going to use my powder products like my bronzer, my blush, my highlight to work with me to set the makeup. Okay, so I love using cream products. That's my jam. And I like to, because I have this Bermuda triangle right here that sucks makeup away, I'm using a cream bronzer to start. This is a kit from Laura Mercier that my friend Cece so graciously gave me. And see this triangle right here? My face is a little more protruded. I have a more prominent chin. And I want to kind of break that up. I want to lift my face up a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that my makeup is coming out like this. This is how I contour. And this is how I start to build my contour. And if you look at my face straight on, my widest point is here. So I'll start to kind of go on to the sides because I want to slim my face and I want to kind of bring the chin up. And this is a great color. I don't like to use super warm bronzers for any of my clients. I keep everything more on the ash, more on the bronze side, as opposed to the orange side or the red side, because then you look like you don't know what the hell you're doing. My favorite contour of all time is Senna Cosmetics Face Sculpting 1 for my skin tone. They have a Face Sculpting 2, which is an amazing product for darker skin tones. And now I come in and you see, I imagine that the color is being magnetized onto the skin, and I try to imagine that the brush isn't even touching the skin. Obviously it is, but this is just to give you an idea of how light the pressure is. Let's get that shit in there. You can already see, like, it's making my cheekbones look more prominent as I hollow out this part. And now this Jay Leno chin. And off to the sides. And I like to bring my contour more up towards the nose, even though I have this obsession with this situation. Because if I go a little bit lower, it's going to bring in, cut off the face a little bit and bring me up a bit. Okay, so there, that's done. Next, I take my bronzer in a powder formulation. This is a Lise Wattier matte. I don't like to use shimmer products over in this part of my face because I don't want to highlight my pores and any other types of issues I might have over there. So I just kind of pop it over it. See, I'm not going really in here too much. I'm putting the main brunt of the color onto the upper part of the cheek, and then I'll go over at the very end, and then, I didn't even put concealer on. All right, we'll deal with that now. For me, it doesn't matter which step I take where. I'm gonna use Veil Cosmetics. It's a water-based concealer, but my color is a little too dark, so I mix it. My under eye circles aren't so bad, and I mix it with Kat Von D, even though she's a racist. This product was given to me, and it works. It's like the gel liner of concealers. Like if you let it sit for a second, it's going to set itself, and it won't be as easy to move and to maneuver. I'm still going to use the same brush, and I'm really going to buff it. I like to mix. I more so like to pop than I like to swipe, because if you have dry skin and you have flaky skin, it's going to catch onto those flakes and then make everything a hot mess. And then I'll even take a smaller brush and go in. Look at that. Look at that. Because of the oil that I have underneath, it's like it really helps to blend itself without looking cakey or powdery. That powder, look, I'm still going to go ahead and put a little concealer down in the center and highlight up on above the brow. I always say it's like framing the art, the eye, framing. Well, for me, it's because I want to bring out any type of darkness in this as I age. It's starting to look a little jowly, whatever. I appreciate it. It's wisdom lines, my wisdom lines. Okay, so this is pretty set because I use the powder over it, and I don't need to go in there with a lot more product, a lot more powder. I don't want to go in with a lot more powder, but I will take a little bit more bronzer just to show you how I set my concealer. So I will bring the bronzer up into the under eye area, and that's so the color, if I took the bronzer off and it was like a layer, like a mask, you would see that it's condensed in this area and then it's lighter, so I don't get that skiing look where it's really white or it's miscolored. All the colors flow into one another, and that's how I'll do, boo. I actually, like I said, I forgot my setting powder, so that's a problem. These are Anastasia Glow Kit, but I also have an Amazing, right? I work for Anastasia Beverly Hills, so it's always nice to play with our products. So I started the setting process with the bronzer. And sometimes I'll even take an extra, like a liquid highlighter, but I'm just going to pop it. I'm not going to bring it all the way down here. Everyone that does that, it looks so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but it does. It just looks weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, I want it to be nice and glowy, but because I already have the Glow Time BB cream, which has crushed diamonds in it, and I've put the oil on, I'm automatically going to have a natural highlight and pop right there. But of course, it's not going to be as poppy as it is going to be up here. Maybe a little bit up here, but not in the middle, because that's where I look the most greasy, and I don't want to do that. So I've already set my concealer. I don't need to go over it with another powder if I don't want to, but especially because I was using the Kat Von D. But for all you makeup obsessives out there, just to show you, I'm going to take some of that mineral powder that I have, and I'm going to use like even a concealer brush or a tiny eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to first make sure nothing is creased. But you'll see that, well, can you? I don't even know with this lighting. And I press into the ball sack area to give it that extra set. So I've layered my creams and my powders, and because I have that oil on underneath, I don't have to use a fixing spray in between steps. It's like the oil helps to maneuver everything in a super fresh way. Next, I'm going to do my blush, which blush usually for me is like a 5-step process, but I'll keep it simple for the sake of time, in case y'all are completely over looking at this stunning face. I love this hot makeup bronzer. It's called Desert Sunrise, and it's the perfect amount of bronze and blush. So if you want to do a draping technique, if you don't know what draping is, it's like this gives you that like British page boy flushed sun-kissed look. Do you see where I'm putting my blush? It's after the iris and above the nose. I do go a little bit down here because I just love that look. And this has shimmer in it, so everything that I said before is a hypocritical lie. And a little bit, a wash, because I want all the color to be filtered throughout the face. After I have the brunt of my color off of the brush, I will go into my under eye. So again, all the color is making a really cool topography. So I've got my draping. Look at that, as a blam, blam. Got my draping going on, and then I can still go in with another blush. I'm using the Anastasia blush kit. I'm gonna use this color right here because it's my jam for this look anyways. And I'm gonna pop it right here, not here. I've just contoured my face. I've just brought it inward. So when you put color on an area, it rounds the area. That's why you put it here. So it lifts the cheek. I'm young, I'm youthful, whatever. Look, let me just go ahead and reapply right here. Even though I'm gonna take this off. So I don't like how high this has gone towards this way. So I'm not gonna keep pushing this brush that has this powder on it still. And then there's all this color here. I've gotta figure out a way to kind of bring it in a bit. So I'm gonna take the brush that I used my foundation with, and I'm just gonna kind of roll out the dough a little bit. Just roll out the dough so it's not so intense. All right, okay. That's pretty much it. Like, because I did this, this makeup is going to look like my skin, but it's gonna look like my best skin ever. And now I'm gonna take a final dose of my, whatever this is called again, my SPF. My puff broke. It's usually supposed to be on this, but whatever. And I'm gonna press ever so softly into my T-zone. I don't want to lose this glow. I don't want to go in and bake and then put highlighter on top. Powder upon powder upon powder upon powder is just going to look like moss. Have you ever seen super cake ladies with just like this mossy finish? It doesn't even look like skin. You want the coverage, you want to set it, but then you're shooting yourself in the foot by making your skin look like there's a layer of powder on it. I want to see the effects of the powder, not the powder. But because I still have that oil underneath, I'm still going to be able to maneuver and manipulate the color. Unfortunately, this is a mineral base, and minerals, especially when you buff them, it's like you're buffing gems, and so they're going to get even more shiny. How I finish. You could be using your fixing spray in between each step, but I'm not going to do that. I don't need to because I have the oil, so it's not a big priority. Again, I'm using this because I thought it was amazing, but it's not as good as that Becca primer. That Becca primer, I don't like to put under makeup that much because working on top of it is so, once it sets, it's like, that's where it's going to stay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this product in the T-zone. And what I shouldn't have done, I didn't have to put that powder before. I should have done this and then the powder. But as you're going to see, it doesn't even matter because that oil will still help to dissipate the product and it's not going to look too heavy. Look, I can just keep packing on the makeup and it's still going to look like skin. And then eventually over time, as my natural oils come in, it's going to break down the makeup even more in a way that doesn't lose the coverage. See what I'm talking about? Bermuda Triangle right here. Motherfucker. It's still going to break down that makeup. See? Already. It's gone. Now, what I'll do is, the reason why I don't like to recommend Ben Nye Final Seal for daily use, because it's like alcohol city and it's just going to dry your skin out over time. It's not the best formula for daily use. It's great for using on your actors, your brides, for one-time use, but not for daily wear. My favorite is Jane Iredale setting spray because it sets and it hydrates, it refreshes the skin. There is skincare properties in it and it's the jam. And it smells so good. I feel like a better person because of it. Anyways, that's my stuff. That's the video. And I'm ready to take it off and go to bed. Ciao from Barcelona.